Hey guys, so you guys should have already set up your door so that when you do run into it, you can press E and open it up. Um, but what's happening right now is my door isn't opening and I don't have a key. If you look at the top left, you can see when I press the E key, it's telling me on the top left in blue, go get the key. Well, the door is locked and I have to go and get the key. So, as you already made a key blueprint, you should hide it somewhere. Here is mine. It's like floating in the air, kind of lame. I could actually make it, float and rotate, but we're just gonna grab it, boom. And now it's gone. I've got it. Up in the top left, it said I have the key. And I'm gonna go back to the door and try to open it, okay? And now, voila, it is open and I can go through. I'm gonna try to close it behind me. There we go. All right, so you may be wondering, how do I add the key locking mechanism to the door I already created in my first tutorial? And I'm gonna show you how. I'm going to just briefly overview the whole kind of blueprint that we have. Don't worry if you don't understand at this point. I'm gonna go through it again slowly, but let's just overview it first. Okay, so this is basically my code for my door key. Okay, so of course I've needed to put a trigger box of a capsule collision or a spear collision, whatever collision you put into your key, because again, you already made your key blueprint. You have the mesh and then you have the trigger or the capsule collision. So referencing that collision by clicking on it, I have when component begin overlap, cast to third person character, set the variable has door key to true. The Boolean variable has door key will become true once the third person character overlaps with the key. Then after that is done, we will basically print a string that says on the screen, I have the key. The reason for printing the string, it's really useful for just testing out your code, so I definitely recommend using this often. And then finally, you're having a destroy actor, which basically just makes the key disappear. So that's why our key goes away after you get it. You don't actually literally pick it up, you just reset a variable to say, oh, I have the key. However, this variable has door key. This is not a variable that is a part of the key itself, okay? This is actually a third-person character variable that was created on our third-person character blueprint, which we'll get into later. Now let's check out how we changed our blueprint for our door right here, because you already set it up so that it opens, right? But we no longer want it to just open when you walk up to it. Now we want it to only open if, you have the key. We have our same code for opening the door, updating it, but we're gonna actually change up the third person blueprint, because as you know, the third person blueprint was the one that was pretty much affecting whether or not this door would open, okay? So this is really the change that we have going on. So this is what's changing, okay? In the open door script, we still have, okay, a flip-flop. However, if you are trying to open the door, we now have a checkpoint. So that checkpoint is right here. We have to check if the variable has door key is set to true. Only if that door key variable is set to true right here, only if that's set to true will we start to play the timeline and open the door. If that is set to false, we are going to print a string that says go get the key, okay? But in order for us, remember, the door key has door key variable, that was not a variable that was created on our door blueprint. That variable comes from our third person character. Therefore, we have to do something special to actually bring about our has door key into this script, which is get all actors of class, and the class being our third person character, we have to pull out that variable has door key out of the other blueprint. And that is really the big thing that we're adding into our open door script. So again, two things. We're changing up and adding some simple scripts into our key, and then we are going into our third person character, creating a new variable, as well as changing up our blueprint for our door so that we're checking whether or not we have the key before we open. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do all that. It's quite simple, but I will want to show you step by step. Okay, so let's start these step by step. So as I said, first we need to go into my third person character blueprint. And I know I have the old dude, the thick brolic type of guy right here. I know I have the old dude, the thick brolic type of guy right here. I know you guys have the more feminine person, but you know, doesn't matter. And I have other stuff in my third person character blueprint that we're gonna add later. But I'm not going to do much in here. All I really need to do is add a variable to either set whether or not I have the key. Okay, so I'm going to go to, on my third person character blueprint, I'm going to add a variable. And I'm going to call this, this time I'm going to say he has key. And remember, I can't put any spaces. So I'm just changing the name because I already did has door key, so you know I can't do the same variable twice. I'm redoing my code just to show y'all. So again, this is going to be a boolean, which means it's either true or false. Now, once I have this in here, okay, I need to open this eye up. It needs to be public, and so that I can edit this with my other blueprints. And then I need to compile and save and go over to my details and make sure the default value is set to false. So if there's no check, that means it's set to false. He has key. When he spawns, he should not have it because he hasn't gone and got it yet. Because if you set it to true, then he would automatically have the key, and there would be literally no point in even making one, okay? So the whole point is to make the game more challenging. He has to go get the key, so that's that. Okay, so that's all I do in my third person character blueprint. Just add this simple boolean here. Now I'm gonna go back to my key. Okay, so we're gonna pretend like I have not done anything yet. I'm gonna make this code here. So the first thing I need to do, and this is your key that you already made the blueprint for, but you didn't code it yet. You should just have, you know, the whole key sitting up there looking pretty. Okay, so I'm going to start by, of course, right clicking, but first I want to make sure that I'm selecting the trigger box, because the first thing we're going to do is something you've done before. We're going to add on component begin overlap, okay? And you already know, okay, what that means. Oh, look, I had already done this, so it's already showing me. So let me just, you know, delete these so that I can actually redo it for you guys. Boom. Okay, it's deleted. Okay, so again, right click on component begin overlap. Make sure I'm clicking my key trigger, so that's the reference actor. And I'm going to say on component begin overlap. Boom. And notice it says in parentheses the key trigger is what I'm overlapping. Okay, now you should know what's next, or at least think about it. You need to make sure that we are the third person character who's overlapping. So I'm going to say cast to third person character blueprint, not the animation blueprint, any of that. Third person character blueprint. And of course you need to add other actor to the object. Okay, that's good. Compile. You can compile save. Now comes the next part. Okay, we need to pull out of this third person character blueprint, we need to pull out that variable that you just referenced. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to pull this out, okay? I'm going to say set, and we need to set the variable has door key, or he has key. That was the new one I made. He has key, okay? And then we're going to bring the target as third person character will be the target of this variable. So after you hit and overlap with the hitbox of the key, and they check that you're the third person character, we want to set the variable he has key to true. Because now that he's actually ran into that key, he should get it, okay? So let's just check that this works, okay? We're going to check it by a print string, okay? So I'm going to set out, after this, print string, and let's make it make sense. So I'm going to print that I have the key. Yay, okay. So after he grabs up the key, it's going to say I have the key. So let's check if it works so far. I'm going to compile and save. And now I'm going to run into that thing. Where's my key? Did I get rid of? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to run into it. And it says he has the key, or I have the key up at the top left. However, the key is still sitting there because we need to destroy it after he gets it, because otherwise it just doesn't give the illusion that he's picked it up. We could also add a sound to make this even better, but I haven't taught you how to do that yet, so hold on for that. So let's go back into the key blueprint, okay? Now, after the key variable he has key is set to true, and you print the string I have the key, we're going to say destroy actor. We don't always want to do this because this means it's totally gone. He can't see it anymore, he can't interact. You could also set the visibility for this, but destroy actor is pretty easy. And the target should be the self, which is the blueprint we're in. So it should destroy the key after he picks it up. Let's compile, save, and test it, okay? So again, I'm going to run up to my key, and now I should have the key and it's gone. So now most people that's played games, they know what's up. You have the key now, and it just follows that you should be able to open the door, okay? So we're going to have to build the code so that you can actually have to unlock the door. Cool. For that, I'm going to go into my third person character blueprint again, because remember, we already have the script to open the door that was set into our door blueprint, but we're not controlling what happens when you open the door, we're controlling if it even opens. And that code was again in our third person character blueprint. Hey guys, so if you made it this far, I definitely believe in you. We are now gonna add the code that will make it so that when you run into the door, you don't have the key, it won't open, and when you run into the door and do have the key, it will open. So to do that, we're gonna go to our open door custom event, which is again inside our basic door blueprint. Okay. So at this time, you have it so that when it says calls the script to open the door, it will either A, play the timeline and rotate the door 90 degrees in one direction to open it, or B, it will reverse that direction to close it back. But we need to put a stopgap in between our states of opening the door so that it won't do all this unless y'all have the key. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually grab up our variable, which was does he have the door key? But remember, that variable was created on our third person blueprint, and we can't just use it here. As you can see, we don't have any variables on this actual door script. So what we'll need to do is something special, okay? We're needing to come out of the flip-flop, the A, okay? We're going to say, okay, something called get all actors of class, okay? This will basically pull out our third person character blueprint, okay? And we're gonna pull out our actors out of here so that everything comes out, okay? Everything that's in here is gonna be referenced into our door blueprint now, which is pretty cool. What we're gonna get out specifically out of our out actors is gonna be the has door key. We need to get a copy of he has key. So again, we're pulling out of our act actors get, and then our target will be he has key. Okay. Now that we have the actual thing, we need to check if it's true or false. And to do that, we're going to do something called a branch. It's kind of cool. It's like basically, okay, if this is true, we'll do this. If it's not true, we'll do this. It's very common in computer science. And we're gonna pull that out of our get all actors of class, the white node here. That's going to be called branch. So it will basically have one state if it's true, one state if it's false. So we need to check that our condition is true, and we need to connect up the variable he has key to be our condition. So you should know at this point, if he has the key is true, it will play the timeline. Awesome. And just to check that all that's working, again, let's add a print string and then say door is unlocked. Now, underneath the false, we also want to add a statement, okay? So if he runs up to the door, he doesn't have the key, what we're going to do is we're going to print a string that says go get the key, silly. And that should happen if he has key is false. Okay, so let's check it. We're going to compile and save. And let's see if the door is actually going to be locked this time. Okay, so let's run up to this door. Boom. Press E. It's not working. It's not working. Okay. That's maybe a good sign. However, I did not see the code go get key, so that's not a good sign. Anyway, let's keep on going. I'm going to pick up my key, and now it says I have the key. And we'll go back. We will try to open this door here. And Retro is not opening. So let's check out what's going on. And so my problem earlier was that, like I said, I had like too many doors, and my third person character blueprint was still referencing my old door, not this one. So it should work now. It says go get the key, which you don't have to worry about that because y'all probably don't have that many doors as I do. We went to go get the key, boom. And now when I press it, the door will open. Yay. Now I'm too fat to get through it. That's the only problem. I mean, not fat, you know, like he just goes to the gym a lot, you know, he eats his protein. But that is the tutorial. And again, if your character is too big for your door, all you have to do is size it up, you know, like we're going to be friendly towards our characters and not make them feel like they can't get through the door. So again, trying to open the door, can't work. I says to go get the key. He has it, and now he's going back, and he can open the door and go through. Aw, yay. Okay, so thank you so much for doing your work in class, getting to it, and that's it for today.